Welcome to Care Studios Conversations, where we talk about growth. So I am Care, Gorgeous Care, and this is Valerie, and we're gonna be interviewing her. So tell us a little bit about your program.
Okay, well, it's a new youth center. We're located here in the Poinciana area. We service Kissimmee, Haines City, Davenport, Poinciana. We service kiddos from 13 to 21. We offer tutoring, therapy, mentorship, life skills, career exploration, volunteer internship opportunities, as well as and events. So we want to target teens and young adults that are struggling, that may benefit from our services, just to kind of provide that extra push for them to become successful.
Okay. What did your life feel like before things started working out?
Um, so before I had the program, I was working with children with autism. I am a behavioral therapist. So basically, working within that field, seeing the need, especially for the teens, was kind of where I wanted to be able to bridge that gap. So yeah, I was more hands-on services with kiddos versus like now. Let's kind of go beyond that.
Yeah, but how did it feel? Like, how did your life feel during that?
I mean, it was good. I've been through a lot of challenges in my life. So, before opening this up, God was already preparing me
Oh,
and
for fair.
blessing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, to definitely be able to create this space. So I'll say blessed. A lot of my stresses was like, when my kids were younger and we went through homelessness and domestic violence and a whole bunch of other things that kind of prepped me for being in the position that I'm in now. So I would say blessed before
I love
starting this
that.
off. Thank you.
When did you first realize something felt off?
In terms of the purpose of creating this program, or
Like you knew you had to open this. Like it was like, oh my God, I just feel like I need to do this.
yeah, so as a behavioral therapist, I actually rose the chain in terms of becoming now the regional director for the agency.
Okay.
And being within that role, I was starting to now get the calls from parents that were struggling, and especially when it came to teens, it was like, I don't know how to manage this behavior, nobody wants to help me, there's no services for them. And literally they would tell me, my son he's going into puberty, he's having these rages, I don't know how to control it, and just crying, you know what I mean, and
No, I
seeking,
really know what you mean.
yes. So seeking that help where there was none. So
Right.
that's why I was like, okay, I see the need. And then the passion was within me. So I'm like, let's combine the two.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Okay. What were you pretending was okay that actually wasn't when you were opening this?
Well, I haven't been in the area for long, so I haven't established myself. Even that networking aspect of like getting to know people within the schools, letting people know who I was before, maybe having support before I created this. So I think that was a major like stepping out in faith and, just kind of just doing it. So that is definitely was like a fear. It's like, will it succeed? How will I function without funding? Because I have like personally funded this myself. So there's no government funding. There's no, other funds coming in. So it was kind of like now while I was doing it, or even in the process of doing it, or even now, even though I trust the Lord, but and I know the need is there, so even if it's slowly, I'm sure that will be okay. But that's definitely a fear that if I would have maybe thought about it better, or been better equipped to get to this place, I would have probably developed my networking aspect first and my name and what I'm gonna do before I started doing this, so I can have some backup support. But
And that's why I created her growth tour, because I felt like right now we don't have that much support in the area, and a lot of us just sit in our house because there's nothing to do here. And so I created her growth tour so that we can travel from Tampa, Orlando, or Kissimmee, and we can all get together and network and feed off each other. Okay, you've been in the business for this long, but you might have just started, but you have more information than the next person. So I think that that's a good reason why, what I mean, that's came around. What
of
part of your
course,
journey do people not talk about enough?
um Uh, I think it's one, the stepping out in faith. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I haven't Always been a believer of God and a Christian, but in my journey coming to know him and him confirming like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do, is like kind of letting go of our fears and then kind of just doing it. I remember watching some like an ad that said a lot of lost dreams are in cemeteries because
Oh.
yeah, because we have these dreams and we're so fearful to actually move forward that we, you know, a lot of people end up dying and never fulfilling those dreams. So there's a
Dreams.
lot of, you know, dead
Wow.
dreams in cemeteries versus like, hey, I even with this I was like, I'd rather fail than not have done it and then live the rest of my life of like what it could have
Regret.
been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What looks good from the outside but didn't feel good when it came to this program?
I mean, the vision, great. In terms of what looked good and what the purpose is, but then like actually, while my door has been open and having parents come in here with 13-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 19-year-olds that have tried to commit suicide, and you know, just seeing their struggles. I had one mom that came in here that her son was actually in Park Place.
Okay.
And he was due to come out, I think, the day after, but he had also attempted to take his own life. He was 16, and mom was just like lost. Like, he's coming out. What do I do? And just kind of seeing that. And I remember that one mom was like, hey, I'll help you one day if you want. Because if you go to Park Place, their visiting hours, she's like, you would see the parents waiting to go in, and there's just like dread, like just the feeling is horrible when you just all the parents just waiting to see their kids, because it's like it's a feel of hopelessness.
Right. What do you think people are doing wrong when trying to level up?
I think the fear of failure, not preparing themselves to look at all the aspects, you know, the financial behind it, you know, the operations, all the little things that sometimes we cloud ourselves in terms of, oh, I want to go ahead and do this, but there's so much red tape and just the little things that can really affect our progress. So I think maybe, you know, kind of being driven by passion versus like what is the reality behind, you know, creating something, your dream to become reality.
That's a good one because today I did a video on overthinking. A lot of people
Okay.
overthink as well.
And we
so
psych
they're-
ourselves
Yeah,
out.
and we psych ourselves out. So instead of us just going, but it coincides with fear because everybody's like, oh, okay. And they just talk themselves out of it instead of just doing it, but they have so much fear. So I think they go hand in hand, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you had to start over today, what would you do differently?
Okay. Well, it kind of piggybacks on one of the previous questions. I would have probably developed the relationships first.
Okay.
I know, again, when it comes to finances, that's not my strong suit. So I guess a little personally, you know, I had a car accident last year that gave me funds to open up this place. But then after doing that and kind of like, you know, going through the most of that, I was told like, hey, as a small business, you could have opened up business loans and done, you know, other avenues, you know, so that you didn't have to kind of tap into your savings. And I was like, that would have been nice to know, you know, early on. So definitely the education that I've developed through this process, having that knowledge beforehand, I think would have probably been very helpful.
Yeah, I need to get on that. I need to get I need to get on my LLC and get the fundings and stuff. What would you take with you this time? Like starting out, what would you bring with you to start this process over with? So, like you just said, thinking about having the funds, but instead, what would you bring with you?
I think the relationships.
Okay,
Because if I would have built relationships prior to, I would have probably already had those referral sources for like, hey, this is needed. This is what our kids need. All right, great. I'm going to fill that need or that void so then they can be ready to go ahead and start to refer those kiddos. So probably that, the relationships.
Yeah. What does your life look like now that actually fits you?
Okay, well, I've always been a go-getter. So definitely I am in that spot right now, due to overseeing now this and the other company. So it's definitely a
Good for you.
lot.
Yeah.
But it is just seeing the beginning portion of it is a lot of work just because now it's developing the name of the company and having people trust me. You know what I mean? It's because at the end of the day, I will be having their children here. So developing that trust within the community and kind of gauging the community because, like, I've done different things in terms of workshops and events and seeing like what will gauge families. So kind of like being in that process. But again, from like just like everything else, right? Like in the beginning, it's always challenging because you're learning, you're growing. But then once you're ready to, once you kind of go through that initial process, you kind of just flourish from there. So
Right.
we're growing in terms of enrollment, which is super exciting. And again, once we get to that place, it'll be a lot easier from there because it'll speak for itself to an extent.
If you had to rebuild yourself right now, what are you keeping and what are you leaving behind?
Um, I would say nothing. I've struggled a lot, and I believe that those struggles made me who I am. So I wouldn't take back my homelessness or being a victim of domestic violence. I've lost my parents. I've been through a lot, and I wouldn't take any of it back. I mean, I would love to have my parents back,
Yeah.
but again, those things prepared me for this moment and for the, created and developed the woman that I am, that I'm able to overcome challenges. So yeah, I don't think I would change anything.
Well, thank you, Valerie, for having
Of
me.
course. Thank you for. And I would want to share as well. I really believe that we are the body. Not everybody can do everything on their own. So coming together is valuable because everybody brings something special to the table. So yeah. So just in case, also we're SPE here at in Point Siena. Feel free to reach out to us, kind of see what we're doing. You can come for a tour. Check us out. We are the SPEprogram.com, our website, our social media, and yeah, we're here for you.
Sounds great.
For being here.
So, if you guys are in the Tampa, Orlando, or Kissimmee area, I am hosting an event called Her Growth Tour where I will be having women come together and they're going to network. We're going to help find your identity. We're going to help grow you guys in your business or just your everyday life. If you guys feel that that fits you, please come out. I will drop the link in the bio below. And I want you guys to be there because community is what we need. Like, it's the biggest thing that we need. So if you're out there, please come out. Again, this is Gorgeous Care with Care Conversations. Have a great day, guys.